FBI, get her out of here. She's trespassing. She's refusing to leave. I want her arrested. Now. FBI agent asks. You sure about that? Yes, I'm sure. She's disruptive. And wait, who are you? Special Agent Connors, FBI. And she's not under arrest. She's the reason I'm here. What? What? Black woman said. Next time you call the feds, be sure you're not handing them your own indictment. Before we begin, please write in the comments where you are watching from. And support us with a like and a subscribe. The bank manager doesn't look up when she enters. He keeps typing. Click, click, click. She stands calmly. After 20 seconds too long, he looks up. His name is Derek Langston, branch director. Slim navy suit, Rolex, he says. Can I help you? I'm here about a closed account, she says, her tone smooth, deliberate. Derek leans back in his chair, sighs as if summoned for jury duty. Name. She slides her ID across the counter. He scans it. His mouth twitches. Oh, this account. Yes, well. He gestures vaguely to the screen. There were compliance issues. Large deposits. Irregular activity. Our fraud department decided to close it. Standard practice. It wasn't flagged, she replies. There was no notice. Just locked out overnight. Derek smiles like a man explaining gravity to a child. These systems have algorithms. It's not personal. A pause. Then the quiet jab. You people always want exceptions. The room stiffens. A customer at the kiosk turns her head. A teller blinks, but keeps her hands moving. No one says a word. The woman doesn't flinch. She's still, controlled. Her voice, low and unwavering. I want my funds released. He leans forward. Ma'am, if you want to escalate this, you can call corporate. But let's not make a scene. She tilts her head. A scene. Derek gestures broadly with his palm. We've had situations before. People who get upset. Emotional. Another beat. Security can escort you if this becomes disruptive. A soft buzzing cuts through the tension. Her phone. She doesn't look at it. Doesn't move. Just says, I'll wait. Derek disappears behind frosted glass. Inside the office, muffled voices. Phone rings. Tension hums under fluorescent lights. The woman remains by the counter, silent. Still, a young black teller 2 windows down glances at her. Their eyes meet briefly. The teller looks away, jaw clenched. There's a weight in that glance. Recognition. 5 minutes. Then 10. A man in a blazer walks past, whispering into an earpiece. Another manager peers around the corner. The woman waits, unbothered. Her presence now pulling gravity. Finally, Derek returns. This time, he's flanked by a second man. Bulkier. Square jaw. Security. We're going to have to ask you to leave the premises, Derek says, voice cool. Per policy, closed accounts under review are not eligible for disbursement until... I didn't ask for policy, she interrupts, calm as still water. I asked for my funds. Security steps forward. Ma'am, let's not make this harder than it needs to be. She turns, looks him over. Not with fear, but calculation. Her voice soft, but sharp. Are you detaining me? The guard pauses. I'm just asking you to leave. She raises an eyebrow. So, not detaining. No response. She nods once. Slowly. Then reaches into her coat pocket. Security shifts, hand on taser. Derek flinches. But all she pulls out is a small, leather badge holder. She flips it open. A gold shield gleams. Department of Justice. Special Agent Maya Sheridan. She sets it down on the counter like a verdict. Derek's mouth opens. Closes. The security guard steps back. Now, she says, that same even tone. I'd like to speak to your compliance officer. Immediately. And I suggest you stop lying. The room stills. Phones stop ringing. A printer chokes mid-page. Every eye in the branch turns toward the woman they'd written off 5 minutes ago. And suddenly, Derek Langston isn't in control anymore. Derek stares at the badge like it's a live wire. He doesn't speak. Doesn't blink. Maya leans forward just slightly, her voice a notch lower. The account that was shut down? That account was being used in an active federal investigation. You may have just obstructed a Title 31 sting. Silence. Security steps away, suddenly unsure of his place. The young black teller freezes mid-transaction, watching everything. Derek finds his voice. I wasn't informed. Of course not, she cuts in. Because if you had, you wouldn't have rushed to shut it down. You would have flagged it, escalated it, preserved all documentation, and contacted law enforcement, like your charter requires. Derek looks down at the screen, the glow reflecting in his pale face. We didn't know, he says, quieter now. Maya's tone doesn't change. That's not my problem. She taps the counter once with her fingertip. You closed an account belonging to a confidential informant embedded in a laundering pipeline. A month of surveillance vanished overnight because you didn't want to answer a black woman's questions. The color drains from Derek's face. I didn't know. But you did know enough to say, you people always want exceptions. He swallows. Hard. Behind Maya, the branch is frozen in attention. No one moves. Even the printers have gone silent. She lifts the badge and tucks it away. Slowly. You just made this federal, she says. And trust me, that's the last thing your bank needs. She turns to the security guard. I'll be waiting in your internal review room. Bring your compliance officer. Now. And just like that, she walks past them. Unbothered. Calm. In control. This time, it's Derek who stays frozen at the counter. The review room is small. No windows. White walls. A surveillance camera in the corner. Maya sits at the head of the table. Alone. Composed. She sets a slim black folder in front of her and waits. Outside, footsteps scramble. Raised voices. Panic dressed as professionalism. Then, the door opens. A woman enters, mid-50s, sharp glasses, sharper voice. Compliance director, her badge says. Carla Morton. Behind her, Derek, now silent. Paler. Sweating. Carla doesn't sit. She assesses Maya with a single glance, lips already pursed. We didn't know the account was flagged, she starts. If we had, you would have followed protocol, Maya finishes. But you didn't. Carla folds her arms. You didn't identify yourself as an agent. I wasn't required to. Derek cuts in, voice thin. There were inconsistencies in the transaction patterns. Maya opens the folder. Pulls out a printed email chain. Slides it across the table. That's your team. 2 weeks ago, confirming the informant's transactions were cleared through Treasury's FinCEN task force. Derek doesn't touch it. Carla leans forward. Where did you get that? Maya doesn't answer. She simply says, you received the clearance. You ignored it. A long pause. Then, Maya adds, almost as an afterthought. And this morning, you closed 3 other accounts, all belonging to black clients, all flagged by the same algorithm. Carla stiffens. How do you know that? She asks. Maya finally looks up, smiles slightly. I don't think you understand, she says. You're not investigating me. I'm investigating you. Carla's face doesn't move, but her eyes flick to Derek. He won't meet her gaze. Maya lays a second folder on the table. Thicker. Stamped with the seal of the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. Over the last 14 months, she begins, your branch has initiated 83 account closures for alleged suspicious activity. She opens the folder. Pages whisper against each other like falling cards. 71 of those belonged to black or Latino clients. 22 were tied to small business loans. 9 were veterans. 4 were retired law enforcement. Carla shifts. Maya's voice stays level, almost too calm. This isn't about one bad call. It's about a system, yours, that penalizes black success as a red flag. Derek opens his mouth, closes it. I'd advise you to stop speaking, Maya says flatly. You're not under arrest. Yet. But everything you're saying is being recorded. And we have subpoenas ready if you make us. The camera in the corner blinks red. Watching. Listening. Maya leans forward now, just slightly. I want every internal memo tied to your risk algorithm. Every flagged account. Every termination notice. From the past 2 years. Delivered to my office by tomorrow morning. Carla tries to hold her ground. We'll need to speak to legal. You'll need to comply, Maya interrupts. Or the next conversation we have will be in front of a grand jury. Derek looks like he might faint. Carla reaches for the folder, her hand trembling just enough to betray the calm in her voice. Outside the door, footsteps shuffle past. Whispers. The walls are thin. And this time, people are listening. By 4:17 p.m., it's already on Twitter. A blurry photo of Maya at the counter. The tweet. Black woman calmly shuts down bank manager mid-racism. Turns out she's DOJ. Room went silent. 3,000 retweets in an hour. 10,000 by sunset. Inside the branch, no one speaks above a whisper. Tellers exchange glances. Customers eye the door. And Derek? He's in his office, hands shaking as he types a frantic email to corporate. Subject: urgent, federal escalation. Too late. Because Maya's team has already pulled up in a black SUV parked outside the glass doors. 2 agents in suits step out. No words, just briefcases and quiet purpose. They enter without fanfare. One nods toward Maya through the glass. She rises, opens the review room door. We're seizing the server logs, the taller agent says, setting a laptop on the table. We have the warrant. You can review it, but it won't change the timeline. Carla stammers. You can't just. We just did, Maya replies. Outside the room, customers are being asked to leave. Tellers lock drawers. Security pulls down blinds. Derek stares out at the now-closed lobby, the blue DOJ seal glowing on the laptop screen like a curse. And for the first time all day, he realizes. This isn't going away. The agent plugs into the server terminal. Lines of code scroll fast. Too fast for Derek to fake calm. Carla hovers behind them, arms crossed, but useless. She's sweating now, watching everything, especially Maya. Start with the closures flagged for irregularity, Maya says. The agent nods. On it. Within seconds, folders appear, each labeled by case ID, each with timestamps, logs, justification memos. Except one. It's buried. Folder name. K. 982Z temp hold. Encrypted. Restricted access. Open it, Maya orders. The agent hesitates. This wasn't on the disclosure list. It's been buried from audit view. Requires director credentials. All eyes snap to Derek. His voice cracks. I don't recognize that folder. Maya doesn't blink. She steps closer. Then log in. Now. Derek's hands tremble over the keyboard. Wrong password. Tries again. Click. The folder opens. Inside, dozens of closure requests. No flags. No violations. Just names. And a note on each. High-risk profile. Recommend quiet termination. No reason. No appeals. Just a pattern. One that's not just racial. It's surgical. Black entrepreneurs. Grant recipients. Whistleblowers. 3 were plaintiffs in an unrelated housing discrimination suit against the bank's parent company. Maya's eyes harden. This isn't risk management, she says. This is corporate retaliation. Carla goes pale. And somewhere outside, sirens echo down the street. The sirens stop out front. Not passing through. Stopping. 2 marked vehicles. 1 unmarked sedan. Lights flash blue across the bank's polished windows. Everyone inside freezes. A uniformed officer enters, followed by a plainclothes detective with a clipboard and a quiet grimace. They head straight for the review room. Special Agent Sheridan? The detective asks. Maya nods. We've been looped in by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Public Integrity Division. They're executing a search and seizure on site. Carla starts. This is a misunderstanding. No, Maya says, stepping aside. This is a pattern. The detective opens a file folder. Your internal memos were leaked. Whistleblower from legal. Emails, blacklists, even executive approvals. It's all here. He looks to Derek. Then Carla. You're officially part of a federal civil rights investigation. Maya speaks next, measured, razor-sharp. We're invoking the Financial Institutions Reform Act. If we find those closures were part of a coordinated strategy, it's not just a violation, it's criminal conspiracy. Derek collapses into the chair. Silent. No excuses left. Outside, a crowd has started to gather. Reporters. Phones raised. Inside, blinds are shut. But glass walls don't hide guilt. They just magnify the fall. By morning, it's everywhere. The footage. The tweets. The badge reveal. The shutdown. Hashtag banking while black trends across every platform. News anchors recap the scene like it's a courtroom drama. DOJ agent exposes racial discrimination in bank account closures. Whistleblower confirms internal blacklist targeting black account holders. On a podcast, a civil rights attorney says, "This is bigger than one branch. This is systemic." Meanwhile, inside a sterile conference room in D.C., Maya briefs a panel of prosecutors and Treasury officials. She pulls no punches. They weren't just profiling, she says. They were silencing, financially gagging people they saw as dangerous because they were organized, loud, or legally informed. She clicks to the next slide. A chart, 92 accounts. All closed quietly, most without cause. Nearly all black. At the bottom, 90% had pending civil claims against banks, real estate developers, or police departments. A pin drops. This is economic suppression disguised as compliance, Maya says. And it's not just immoral, it's illegal. Someone whispers, this could go national. Another voice, it already has. Maya doesn't smile. She just flips to the next slide. Derek Langston's phone rings at 6:42 a.m. He's sitting at his kitchen table, sleepless, disheveled, watching himself trend on TV. The screen shows a paused image, his face mid-sneer, captioned, "You people bank exec under investigation." He lets the call ring twice, then answers. A clipped voice greets him. "Mr. Langston, this is Morgan Keene, counsel for the board." He sits up. Keene continues, tone surgical. "The board has reviewed the findings. The folder you accessed, the statements you made, the exposure risk." Derek tries to respond, but Keene cuts him off. "You're being terminated. Effective immediately. A federal notice of investigation will follow. We suggest retaining legal counsel." Click. Silence. He stares at the deadline, mouth open. Then, slowly, turns back to the TV. Now it's showing a split screen. On one side, protesters outside the bank, holding signs. On the other, Maya, walking calmly through the courthouse steps, flanked by 2 agents. No badge visible. No sound. Just the image of control. And consequence. The courtroom is packed. Press passes. Civil rights attorneys. Whistleblowers. At the center table, Maya sits beside a DOJ litigator. Calm, composed, unreadable. Across the aisle, Carla Morton. No longer in control. Her lawyer does the talking now. Derek isn't present. He's somewhere else, avoiding subpoenas. But his emails? His approvals? They're all on screen. The judge leans forward. So these accounts were closed not because of criminal activity, but because of who these individuals were suing or organizing with. Silence. Then Maya's voice. "Yes, Your Honor. The evidence shows this was a coordinated retaliation strategy." Slides click. Names. Photos. Closure memos. Racial demographics in red bold type. The judge exhales. "In my courtroom, that's not just unethical. That's unlawful." Reporters scribble furiously. Outside, the bank's PR team scrambles. They issue a statement. "We condemn discrimination in all forms and will cooperate fully with the investigation." Too late. The headline the next hour reads, "DOJ uncovers targeted suppression of black account holders." And in the back row, the young black teller from that day, she's there too, taking notes. Because this isn't the end. It's just the audit before the reckoning. Weeks pass. Hearings intensify. Depositions multiply. But Maya keeps moving. Each morning, she's in a new city, testifying before oversight boards, meeting with financial ethics committees, speaking, quietly but sharply, about the price of silence. Back in the courtroom, the defense pivots. They try the usual tactics. Miscommunication, algorithm error, unconscious bias. But Maya brings receipts, emails with directives like high-risk profile, phase them out before Q for review, internal chats joking about compliance karma, audio from a staff meeting where Derek scoffs. Some people just don't fit our brand. The judge listens and then says flatly, "This wasn't unconscious. This was engineered." A gasp ripples through the gallery. In boardrooms across the country, C-suite executives whisper Maya Sheridan's name like it's a warning. Because she isn't just exposing one branch, one company. She's exposing a system. And for the first time in a long time, the revolving door between finance and immunity? It's stuck. Late at night, in a hotel room 2 blocks from Capitol Hill, Maya reads the list again. Printed. Tangible. 37 names. All former employees, mid-level analysts, interns, junior managers. Most were ignored. Some were fired. One had tried to send the report up the chain, only to be quietly reassigned to janitorial budgeting. Every name on that list had flagged the targeting pattern years ago. Every one of them had been silenced. Until now. Maya circles the top 5. They'll testify next week. She sends a secure email to the Civil Rights Division. These are your key witnesses. Protect them. Then she adds a note at the bottom. Don't let them call this a mistake. It was policy. She closes her laptop. Sits in the dark. Outside, the city pulses with headlines and camera flashes. But inside, it's just one woman. One case. And a weight she carries with calm precision. The courtroom is still. The judge's voice cuts through the hush like a slow blade. We find the defendants liable for coordinated racial discrimination, unlawful termination of accounts, and obstruction of federal financial oversight. A ripple passes through the room. Carla slumps in her chair. Her lawyer sighs, defeat sharpened by inevitability. Maya sits straight. Silent. No celebration. Just stillness. The judge continues. Restitution is ordered. Regulatory sanctions will follow. Further DOJ investigations are pending at the corporate level. It's not jail time. Not yet. But it's the first public crack in a wall long believed untouchable. The banks will pay. The clients will be reinstated. The algorithms will be audited independently. And Maya? She stands as cameras flash. A reporter calls her name, voice rising over the crowd. Agent Sheridan, what do you say to those who called this overreach? Maya doesn't blink. She leans into the mic. You don't call it overreach when someone reclaims what was stolen. Months pass, but the story doesn't fade. Maya receives a letter in the mail, handwritten, no return address. She opens it slowly. Inside, neat script on lined paper. They closed my mother's account when she got her first grant for her wellness business. We thought it was a glitch. She cried for days. Thank you for proving it wasn't her fault. I'm applying to law school next fall. Because of you. Maya reads it twice, then folds it carefully, tucks it into a small wooden box in her apartment. It's full of letters like this now. From veterans, teachers, barbershop owners, college students, people who once felt invisible, now heard. She doesn't reply to them all, but she reads every one. Because every letter reminds her. The law doesn't protect people just because it exists. It protects them when someone makes it work. The bank branch is under new management. Same glass walls. But now, the posters on display feature diverse local entrepreneurs. The blinds stay open. And the teller from that day, the young black woman with quiet eyes, she's now the assistant branch manager. Maya walks in unannounced one afternoon. No badge. No suit. Just a denim jacket and a calm smile. The teller spots her. Freezes. Then walks over, trying not to smile too wide. You came back, she says. I wanted to see how things were settling. They're different, the teller replies. We had training. Real training. And we report directly to the oversight committee now. Maya nods once. She steps aside, letting another customer go ahead. Nothing grand. As she leaves, she passes a framed photo by the door. A quote etched into the glass beneath it. Justice is not a favor. It's a function. You either provide it or you don't. She doesn't stop to look at it. She's already out the door. A breeze lifts the edge of her coat as she disappears into the crowd, Just another citizen walking freely in a system she made a little more just. Thank you for watching. Subscribe me and hit the notification bell to not miss new stories. Bye.